If you experience trauma and you find yourself rushing into relationships to avoid being alone, then this video is for you. We'll explore 3 ways that childhood trauma affects our relationship choices and patterns, and then we'll delve into 3 powerful strategies to break free from the discomfort of being alone. So grab a cozy spot, a pen and a paper, because you're going to want to take some notes, and let's embark on this transformative journey together. Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's close to many hearts, including mine, and that's childhood trauma and its impact on our relationship. Hi, I'm Natalie, the CEO and founder of She's Taken Her Life Back. With over 32 years of experience as a board-certified professional counselor and a trauma mindset coach, through my experiences, I will guide you to break free from self-sabotage, conquer unhealthy relationships, and uncover your true potential. Together, we'll explore practical strategies and mindset shifts that not only transform my life, but the lives of countless other women I've worked with. I'm here to create a safe and supportive community where we uplift and inspire one another. So let's embark on this journey of healing and growth together. Childhood trauma often leads to a deep fear of abandonment, causing us to struggle with being alone. When you experience neglect, rejection, or loss, it can create deep wounds that affect our beliefs about love and trust. These wounds can manifest as thoughts like, I'm not worthy of love, I'll always end up alone, and accept anyone that comes along that would give us some attention. In addition, our body responds with anxiety or this constant feeling of being unsafe. And then our spirit just hungers for someone to fill the void and validate our worth. It is essential to understand how childhood abandonment wounds can manifest in our adult lives. So let me re-emphasize an important piece to all of this, and that is to remind you that when we grow up feeling unwanted, unloved, it can create a strong drive to seek our sense of worthiness from romantic partners and not ourselves. The neglect or the emotional unavailability in childhood causes us to fear being abandoned again. So as a result, what do? We rush into relationships to avoid the discomfort of being alone. This fear can cloud our judgment, leading us to accept unhealthy relationships, all in the hopes of finding that love and connection we yearn for. The discomfort we may feel may cause us to subconsciously seek partners who remind us of our mother, our father, or whoever the caregiver was that raised us from our past, which perpetuates the same patterns that left us feeling unloved in our childhood. You know, this complex interplay between emotions and behaviors can lead us to attract and remain in unhealthy relationships. Does this sound about right in your life? My hope is that it answers the questions that have been asked over and over again when we ask ourselves, do I have a sign on my head? Why do I keep attracting the same kinds of relationships over and over again? We don't set out to get into unhealthy relationships. As a matter of fact, if you are like me, you may have created this long list of characteristics of the man you want, or just have a sense of who you want in your mind. However, we just can't quite get it right. And that is because our subconscious mind is doing the choosing. Our subconscious mind makes up 95% of our decisions. And that's because our subconscious mind holds our beliefs about ourselves and connects to being alone as an unsafe place. And it reminds us of the time when we were abandoned. And then it sets out to escape that feeling no matter what. Let's address 3 common issues that lead women to seek relationships too quickly to escape that feeling of loneliness. Issue number 1, the fear of abandonment. Imagine growing up in an environment where love and care were inconsistent or just totally absent. In those moments of vulnerability, we were left feeling abandoned and unworthy. And as a result, we carry these wounds into our adulthood, making us anxious about being alone and fearful that we'll end up rejected and unloved once more. You see, these experiences create deep emotional imprints that influence our beliefs about love and trust. Issue number 2, low self-worth. Low self-worth is a common consequence of childhood trauma. Imagine constantly being criticized, overlooked, or made to feel inadequate during your formative years, which is between the ages of 0 and 8. Those experiences leave us feeling unworthy of love and affection. That is the reason, as adults, we may seek our validation and our worth from outside of ourselves to help fill that void, which leads us into rushing into relationships too quickly to gain a sense of worthiness. But it doesn't address the core issue of our self-worth. Issue number 3, really important. This is where you do some work. Repetition compulsion, or some may call it trauma reenactment, which is a subconscious desire to recreate the familiar situations from our past. If we grew up with caregivers who were emotionally unavailable, who displayed unhealthy behaviors, we may be drawn to partners who resemble those traits. The familiarity feels comforting even if it's dysfunctional, because unknowingly, the partners we seek trigger the same emotional responses we experienced in childhood and are familiar with, attracting us and continuing the cycle of unhealthy relationships. I remember how my past trauma left me desperately seeking love and validation, which caused me to rush into relationships, hoping to escape the pain from my childhood. But I can tell you this, most of those relationships turned out to be unhealthy, mirroring the same patterns I experienced growing up, and it felt like I was stuck in a never-ending cycle. It reminds me of most of my relationships, but if I went to look at them, and I've done the work, I can see that there was a connection to my relationships, to my absent father, because I am a daddyless daughter, and my father wasn't emotionally available to me. My father was inconsistent. My father was unreliable because of his own issues. So as a result, guess who I attract and allowed to remain in my life? Men who were unavailable, men who were inconsistent with their love, because they were broken too. And that's who I attracted, broken men through my brokenness. And it felt like I was stuck in a never-ending cycle. Remember those times so clearly. And in hindsight, I was able to connect the patterns of the men of my life to my absent, inconsistent father. Have you ever had those moments when you think about your past relationships and you say to yourself, what was I thinking? There were relationships that I knew weren't the man with the characteristics I had on my list for my Mr. Right. I justified in my mind and I said, oh, I'll just go out with him. You know, I have nothing to do. This won't turn out to be anything serious. Do you see how my mind justified the decision to be with a man who was unhealthy, emotional, unavailable? It was actually my subconscious mind gravitating to the familiar. Well, as I think about it, you know, there was a time that I even took a 2-year break from relationships, thinking like I need a break, I need to focus on me. Now, I'm talking about 2 years here, which is a very long break. You see, the thing I failed to do during those 2 years break was cultivate self-love. So spending time not involved in relationships is not the only answer. It's important to do the healing work and rewrite what alone time means for us. So when we detach our minds from what it used to mean, which was I'm unlovable, I'm unworthy, I feel abandoned. That meaning of alone kind could speak to something different. And I didn't do that. And right after those 2 years, guess what happened? Right back into another unhealthy relationship. But there is hope. Breaking free from these patterns is possible. Let's explore powerful strategies that match these issues and have helped me on my healing journey. Strategy number 1, it's time to reflect on childhood abandonment. During your reflection time, I want you to take the time to explore past experiences and recognize how they shaped your beliefs about love, trust, and abandonment. This will be a good time to share your feelings and experiences with a supportive friend, a therapist, or even a trauma mindset coach, because we have the ability and the know-how to create a safe place for healing. Strategy number 2, cultivating self-love and self-worth. I want you to acknowledge that you are deserving of love and happiness regardless of past experiences. You can do this one way by practicing daily affirmations and self-care activities that nurture your mind, body, and spirit. This is an example of one right here that I want to share with you to get you started. Strategy number 3, assessing your unhealthy relationship patterns. This is the time you really need to grab that pen and paper when you have some alone time and begin to reflect on your past relationships and identify the similarities between those dynamics and your childhood experiences. Remember, I shared with you when I did it, I saw the connection between the men I chose in my life to my inconsistent father. I then want you to write down how these patterns made you feel and how they may be influencing your current relationship choices. Are there similarities between anybody in your past? Take a look at your current relationships if you're in one. And take a look at your past relationships. You'll begin to see a pattern between them all. And I'm not talking about every piece and every characteristics of a man is going to be the same. They're going to be common character traits of them all. Time to find out what that is and see if there's connection to your past relationships. These strategies have been so transformative in my life. Reflecting on my past trauma allowed me to gain a deeper understanding of why I rushed into relationships. By cultivating self-love and self-worth, I became less dependent on others for validation and found fulfillment within myself, making me not desperate to seek that relationship and take the time to learn about relationships, learn about my patterns. Assessing my unhealthy relationship patterns helped me break free from the repetitive dynamics and make healthier choices. Remember that breaking free from these patterns requires patience and compassion. Healing is a journey, and it's okay to seek support and guidance along the way. Now, to help you on your journey of healing and breaking free from unhealthy relationship patterns, I've created a downloadable worksheet. This worksheet will guide you through the process of reflecting on your childhood abandonment wounds, cultivating self-love and self-worth, and assessing your relationship patterns. It is a powerful tool to support your growth and transformation. I want to thank you for joining me today. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more empowering content. Don't forget to download that worksheet and complete it. The link is in the description box below. Remember, you're not alone on this journey, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. So take care, stay strong, and embrace the love and healing that awaits you.